Everybody, it's Michael from Get Fit Over 40, and a little bit of an update video. I really haven't talked too much about this upcoming fitness contest I'm doing. I have let people know that I am starting my training, my prep for it. So I just kind of wanted to cover what some of my goals were this year. Last year I did the nationals and I competed, and my goals, were basically to kind of do what I did, was to get, first place in Masters. I was hoping maybe to place a little better in Open, but those guys were really really developed. Like the whole basically men's physique class. Every year it just seems to, like, the guys just get a little bigger, a little leaner, and so you have to bring a better version of yourself like every time. You just can't walk on stage exactly the same as you were last year. You have to just do something a little more every time. Like my first competition a couple of years back, I stepped on stage at 175. Now, it wasn't a qualified competition at all. It was just basically, anybody could go into it. And I did well, I got first, but I walked on stage at 175, definitely a lot smaller version of me, but lean, conditioned, developed, just not as much muscle. Skip ahead basically another year. I did another unqualified competition. It was basically in Victoria. And I put on a little bit of weight. I think I stepped on stage closer to 185, and maybe a little bit less dehydrated. So I put on a good 7 pounds of muscle. And then skip ahead to the BCs and the Nationals. I did the BCs and I was not quite 190, just a little bit under, probably about 187, 188. And then I put on a couple pounds in 5 weeks. It was hard work for the Nationals, and stepped on stage at 190. So you kind of have to bring this more developed, tighter version every time. It's crazy. I don't know what the future is of men's physique. Last year I was kind of hoping that because it's classic physique, that they weren't going to look for as big of guys, but as it turned out, in the open division, they pretty much picked the top 5 guys with the biggest guys out there. There were some awesome smaller guys, condition looked great, but they didn't get picked. So I was a little surprised. I thought some of those guys were too big. I thought they were like literally bodybuilders in board shorts. But if you look at the pro division of men's physique, all those guys, like, all the top guys in men's physique, every year they get bigger and bigger and more, conditioned. It's pretty crazy. If you look back 3-4 years ago, I might have beat them actually at the Nationals in my condition, because they weren't that big back then. But it's just evolved, I guess, right? I don't know how far it's going to go. So I don't really know what to expect this year. My goals are similar. I want to get first in men's Masters. I'm not competing in Open. It's just, for me, I just know it's a lost cause. It's just something that, I can do it, but I know I won't place, in the top 5. It's just something I know I won't be able to do. So my opportunity really lies in men's Masters, because at the end of the day, the top guys in each class will go head-to-head in the overalls in Masters, and the winner of that gets a pro card, and that pro card is exactly the same pro card that the Open guys get. So it's the same one. It allows me to compete in professional level Open category. Will I do it? Maybe for fun one day, just to get out there as an older guy and show the young guys that we can still do it a little bit. Will I win anything? Probably not. But it's a goal that I have, and that's what I'm going for. Last year I got really close to getting the pro card. At the end of the day, the other 2 guys out there, there was basically an ABC division, so different height divisions, and it's kind of a little bit tough to compete with the shorter guys as a tall guy, because the shorter guys just look more developed. It's a little bit easier, but I still think I was one of the more, like, over the guy that won, I still think I was a little bigger. I was definitely bigger looking, and I think I was more conditioned. Did I deserve to win? Perhaps, but it's not up to me. It's up to the judges. I could have done better. I think my posing let me down a little bit. There were some little things that I could have improved just to make some of the angles look better. So that's on me, right? If I had done that, maybe I would have won, right? The guy that won looked great. He deserved to win. So give him, I'm not taking anything away from him or saying that the judges picked the wrong person. It's what they see something different from their angle than I see on the camera. Who knows, right? But this year I get another opportunity to try it again, qualified for nationals again, and I'm going to, you know, do my best. I'm going to try and come in with another 2 or 3 pounds of muscle. Right now I'm currently about 195 pounds. I've been prepping for this contest for a good month and a half now, and when I started prep I was 195. I'm still 195, and some people might think that's crazy. Why aren't you cutting? Well, I'm actually trying to grow into this contest, and that's what I do every year. I go through the year, I don't bulk, I just kind of try to keep my strength up. I try not to injure myself. I try to keep sort of, you know, developing, getting a little bit stronger throughout the year, not put on a lot of fat, right? Just try and stay pretty lean, try to stay well under 10%, usually around 7 or 8% all year long, slowly improve myself, work on some weaknesses, and then right before the contest, about 3 months out, it's go time. It's the time, because you cannot be that intense all year round. At least for me, I can't do it as an older guy. I can't do a bulk. It would just kill me, because by the time I hit the contest, I would be done, I'd be finished, and my joints would be worn out. I wouldn't be ready to do it. So I leave all of that for like 3 months out, and for a good 2 months, it's go time. It's put on muscle as much as I can in 2 months without being at a, you know, really at a calorie deficit too much. If anything, I'm almost at a little surplus there, because I'm trying to, you know, I'm working out hard, I'm training hard. I don't want to lose too much fat and be low in energy. You know, but I usually end up losing a little bit of fat during that 2 months, putting on some muscle, and then about a month out, that's when the cutting begins, because I've done all the work that I can and put on as much muscle as I can, and then for that last 2 months it's more about conditioning and looking at what I need to do to get any little bits of fat off of me. And so usually for the first 2 weeks of that month, it's a little bit of a calorie deficit. You know, there's even a little bit of an opportunity to get some muscle in there, at least keep it. And in the last 2 weeks, that's when it's just, you know, calorie deficit time, get rid of every scrap fat and get rid of it all. It feels horrible. The last 2 weeks is the worst time for me, low energy, low everything. But, you know, and probably that's the time, if I am going to lose any muscle, that's when it's going to happen, but it's just such a short period of time. I plan to turn that into a week and a half this time, do a week of really crazy carb depleted cutting, and then basically 3-4 days of refeeding, getting the carbs back up, so that I'm not in that zone for too long, so I can retain as much muscle as possible for the competition this year. So those are my goals. That's how I do it. You know, people like to do these crazy dirty bulks, clean bulks. You know, they get to contest time, they got to lose 20-30 pounds of fat. Sure, they put on muscle, but it's like 3 months of trying to just basically do cardio, 1,000 calorie a day deficits. What's going to happen? Well, your body's going to freak out. It's going to lose a lot of the muscle. You know, you will lean up, but your mindset is, you go from being, say, 20 to 30 pounds overweight to, you know, you drop that weight. In your mind, you think you're in great shape, but when it comes down to it, are you really competition ready? If you're sitting around 8% all year instead of 15 to 20%, and you cut 2 to 3%, it's pretty easy, and you can see the difference. It's quite a bit. You know, it's not such a big difference. So you know that you've got. What I'm trying to say is that if you cut from, say, 8 to 4.5, everything just starts to come out, right? If you cut from, say, 20 to 7. You think you look amazing at 7%, but you still got a ways to go. There's still more room to go, but it's really hard. Your body's going to fight you like crazy because it just dropped all this weight. It's not used to it, right? And I've talked about this in other videos. It's not rocket science. It's really not that hard to do. You know, it's a different way of doing it. It works for me. It's worked for other people. I know other people that have tried it and said, hey, thanks for showing me that. It really helps, you know. I tell people to try and avoid cardio as much as possible when you're trying to cut. If you can, use calorie management. Keep your energy for the weights. The more cardio you do, the more you're going to be telling your body that it needs to get rid of muscle. So that's my theory on it. And so hopefully this year, the Pro Card, that's what we're going for. So anyways, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. I've talked a little too long as usual, but hopefully I've got my point across. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.